I know why. That case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. Old serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it all turned out. But there's something that still bugs me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I pointed this out to you the last time, but since it's a new recording session... Victim, Neil Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor?
Must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did.
That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. What's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gann, then the deputy chief of police.
Here he is.
The detectives I was part of worked under them. We're desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. It was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him.
And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions.
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how hard you try to fight it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with this resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that.
So, if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. Wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial! Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remain the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
Seems to me this boy's got you on the draw, partner.
Got the draw on you, partner.
Oh. Got the draw on you, partner. Let me
All
draw.
All the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
Wow.
Ah! I rest my case.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant...
What? Huh? Whoa. Hey Emma. Welcome back. Your Honor, wait! Emma, the defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright. Are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Good work, Edgy. He's learned.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
So why
is
are you here?
that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh, boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing?
As we've said every other time.
Yeah, we basically have to object. But what the hell are we missing?
Whose blood is it?
No. Wait, I think I know. Hold on, I'm sorry to bring this up again. I'm so sorry. But we can actually see it right here. Look, we can't see that locker, right?
Right.
But we know for a fact that he never gets close to it again. So it couldn't have been him that touched it. So who the hell did? So there is a problem with that. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Let us pray that the defense isn't simply trying to buy time, which we are. Very well, Mr. Wright.
That's most of our strategy. With all this
Yes.
evidence here, there's got to be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something missing in the floor plans?
Which item?
It's the fucking badger, isn't it? What about that? Oh, that's the wrong voice. What about that piece of plywood?
Your voice just went weird. The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here.
So?
So watch what happens when we put him in.
How big is it?
This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well?
Well, what?
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
What? So that means... just what exactly does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in?
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
But that's my entire strategy, Your Honor. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time... Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found in the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows... when the first crime took place. The sign-ins, right?
It had to have been. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh! The ID card record. Oh dear.
Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at...
Oh, let's see here. 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be... 4:40. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy.
Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777.
420. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman enter the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7 sevens.
Yes. Mr. Edgeworth, please look at this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 77.
That's 1 7 too many. Unfortunately,
8.
I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present. What?
Explain yourself, son.
The ID number 7777 belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous! Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted...
An official charge.
You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups, your forgeries. And that's how the prosecutor's office operates. I should have said that more.
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself.
Slander isn't okay. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive.
Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7 sevens.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is more about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
Oh, I remember this now. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana, I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, what are you saying?
Oh.
Ask again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me in the eye? Oh, okay. Sorry. Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer it? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence. Oh.
She just admitted in court she forged evidence 2 years ago.
Okay.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
No!
Order! Order! Order!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir, the chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Yeah, I can't imagine why the chief prosecutor admitting that they forged evidence would cause a riot. Jim, please cut that episode into a more reasonable length. Thank you. Next time on Character Select, we have one more bit of investigation to go, and we still have not found out who actually died and where.
Yeah.
Jesus. So, thank you very much for...
Did he die in the car park? Did he die in the evidence room? Did he die at home?
So thank you very much for watching. Make sure to click that like button down below if you liked it in space.
Did you do it?
No. You can't prove nothing. Where's the evidence?